If you've been experiencing uncomfortable bloating after meals, feeling like your stomach is a balloon ready to pop, and you've tried everything from cutting out foods to drinking more water, what I'm about to share could be the missing piece you've been searching for. Because there's something happening in your digestive system right now that simple walking just can't fix, and these 5 gentle exercises target the exact mechanisms causing your discomfort. I'm Dr. Helen Brooks, a gastroenterology specialist with over 15 years helping patients overcome stubborn digestive issues. Throughout my career, I've seen countless people struggle with bloating, gas, and digestive discomfort that affects their quality of life, their confidence, and their daily activities. What most people don't realize is that certain gentle movements can activate your digestive system in ways that regular walking simply cannot achieve. Before we dive in, if you haven't subscribed yet, I strongly recommend hitting that subscribe button and turning on the notification bell so you never miss another health tip designed specifically to help you feel your best. And if you find this video helpful, please leave your questions and suggestions in the comments below. I read every single one, and your feedback helps me create content that truly addresses your needs and helps more people just like you. Now let me tell you about Margaret, a 68-year-old retired teacher who came to my office absolutely desperate. She told me through tears that she couldn't even enjoy dinner with her grandchildren anymore because within 20 minutes of eating, she would feel so bloated and uncomfortable that she'd have to excuse herself and lie down. Margaret had been dealing with this for 3 years, and it had gotten progressively worse. She'd tried elimination diets, probiotics, digestive enzymes, and walked every single morning for 30 minutes. Nothing seemed to help. She described the sensation as having a rock sitting in her stomach, accompanied by painful gas that wouldn't release. Her daughter had even stopped inviting her to family gatherings because Margaret would always end up uncomfortable and wanting to go home early. The emotional toll was just as bad as the physical discomfort. Margaret felt isolated, frustrated, and honestly, a bit hopeless when she walked into my office. Here's what most people don't understand about bloating and digestion. Your digestive system is like a complex assembly line, and it relies on something called peristalsis, which is the wave-like muscular contractions that move food through your intestines. When you're sedentary or only doing forward-moving exercises like walking, you're missing out on movements that stimulate digestion from multiple angles. Your intestines need rotation, compression, and varied positioning to function optimally. Think of it like trying to get ketchup out of a bottle. Tapping it from one angle helps, but rotating and squeezing from different directions works much better. That's exactly what these exercises do for your digestive system. The first exercise I taught Margaret completely changed her life, and it's something called the supine twist. This isn't just any twist. You lie on your back with your knees bent, feet flat on the floor. Then you gently drop both knees to one side while keeping your shoulders flat on the ground, turning your head to look in the opposite direction. Hold this for 30 to 60 seconds, breathing deeply into your belly. Then switch sides. What's happening here is absolutely fascinating from a physiological standpoint. This twisting motion creates a gentle compression and massage of your intestines. It stimulates the movement of gas through your digestive tract and helps release trapped air pockets that cause that horrible bloated feeling. The rotation also improves blood flow to your digestive organs, which enhances their function. I've had patients tell me they can literally hear their stomachs gurgling and feel gas moving within minutes of doing this exercise. Let me tell you about Robert, a 72-year-old former accountant who had suffered from chronic constipation and bloating for over a decade. Robert was taking 3 different medications for his digestive issues, and he'd resigned himself to the idea that this was just part of getting older. His wife mentioned that he would spend hours in the bathroom, uncomfortable and straining. He avoided traveling because he never knew when his digestive issues would flare up. Robert was embarrassed to talk about it, even with his doctors. When I introduced him to the supine twist along with the other exercises I'm about to share, he was skeptical. He said he'd tried everything and nothing had worked, but he agreed to try it consistently for 2 weeks. Within 5 days, Robert called my office to tell my nurse that he'd had his first comfortable bowel movement in months. By the end of the 2 weeks, he'd reduced one of his medications with his doctor's supervision, and his bloating had decreased by what he estimated was 70%. He told me later that these exercises gave him his life back. If you're still watching and finding this information valuable, comment a checkmark below to show me you're following along. It helps me know this content is reaching the right people. Now, the second exercise is something I call the cat-cow flow, adapted specifically for digestive health. You get on your hands and knees in a tabletop position. As you inhale deeply, you arch your back, letting your belly drop toward the floor and lifting your head and tailbone up. This is the cow position. Then as you exhale, you round your spine upward like a cat stretching, tucking your chin to your chest and pulling your belly button toward your spine. You flow between these two positions slowly for 1 to 2 minutes. The brilliance of this exercise is that it creates a pumping action in your abdominal cavity. Every time you move between these positions, you're compressing and releasing your digestive organs, which stimulates peristalsis and helps move things along. The deep breathing component is equally important because it activates your parasympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for the rest and digest response. Many people with digestive issues are stuck in a sympathetic or fight or flight state, which literally shuts down proper digestion. I had a patient named Dorothy, 70 years old, who worked as a seamstress for 45 years. All that sitting hunched over her sewing machine had created terrible posture and chronic digestive issues. Dorothy would feel bloated and gassy every afternoon without fail. She'd tried cutting out dairy, gluten, and even most vegetables, but nothing helped. Her quality of life had diminished significantly because she was afraid to eat much of anything. The constant discomfort made her irritable, and she admitted that she'd become withdrawn from her friends because she didn't feel well enough to socialize. When I taught Dorothy the cat-cow flow, something clicked. She practiced it every morning and every evening, spending just 2 minutes each time. Within a week, she noticed her afternoon bloating was less severe. Within 3 weeks, it was almost completely gone. Dorothy told me that these simple movements made her realize how disconnected she'd become from her body. The exercises forced her to breathe deeply and move her spine in ways she hadn't in decades. She said it felt like waking up a part of her body that had been asleep for years. But if you think that's impressive, wait until you hear about the third exercise, which specifically targets the lower digestive tract, where most bloating originates. It's called the knee-to-chest compression. You lie on your back and bring one knee up toward your chest, wrapping your hands around your shin and gently pulling it closer. Hold for 30 seconds while breathing deeply, then switch legs. After doing both sides individually, you bring both knees to your chest together and hold for 30 to 60 seconds. This exercise is pure genius for digestive relief. You're literally massaging your colon from the outside. The compression helps move trapped gas through your intestines and toward elimination. It also stretches your lower back, which is important because tension in your lumbar spine can actually contribute to digestive issues through nerve connections. Let me share Thomas's story with you. Thomas was a 75-year-old retired postal worker who had been dealing with severe bloating and discomfort for years. He described the sensation as having a basketball in his abdomen by the end of every day. Thomas had undergone multiple tests, colonoscopies, and scans, all of which came back normal. His doctors told him it was probably just gas and aging, which left him feeling dismissed and frustrated. Thomas's wife said he would come home from even short errands looking exhausted because the bloating made him feel so heavy and uncomfortable. He'd stopped playing with his grandchildren because bending over or moving around made the bloating worse. When I showed Thomas the knee-to-chest compression, I explained that we were going to manually help his digestive system do what it was struggling to do on its own. Thomas committed to doing this exercise 3 times a day after each meal. The results were remarkable. Within the first week, he noticed he could actually feel gas moving and releasing when he did the exercise. By the 3rd week, his daily bloating had reduced so much that he forgot to do the exercise one day because he simply felt normal. Thomas said these movements gave him hope that he wasn't broken, that his body could still function well with the right support. The 4th exercise is one that people often overlook, but it's incredibly powerful for digestion. It's called the seated spinal twist. You sit on the floor or in a chair with your spine tall. If you're on the floor, extend your legs in front of you, then bend your right knee and place your right foot on the outside of your left thigh. Place your left elbow on the outside of your right knee and gently twist your torso to the right, looking over your right shoulder. Hold for 30 to 60 seconds, breathing deeply, then switch sides. This exercise combines the benefits of twisting with an upright posture that uses gravity to assist digestion. The gentle compression massages your digestive organs, and the twisting motion helps wring out your intestines like you'd wring out a towel. This helps release trapped gas and stimulates the movement of waste through your colon. I'll never forget Elizabeth, a 63-year-old former nurse who understood anatomy and physiology better than most of my patients. Despite her medical knowledge, she'd been struggling with post-meal bloating that was affecting her daily life. Elizabeth would feel fine in the morning, but by evening, she looked and felt 6 months pregnant from the bloating. She'd tried every dietary approach, every supplement, and every over-the-counter remedy. Nothing provided lasting relief. Elizabeth was particularly frustrated because she knew her body. She knew something was wrong, but conventional approaches weren't helping. When I introduced her to the seated spinal twist, she was intrigued by the mechanical logic behind it. She began doing it twice a day, once mid-morning and once mid-afternoon. Within days, Elizabeth noticed a significant difference. The evening bloating that had plagued her for years began to diminish. She told me that she could actually feel her intestines responding to the movement, that she could sense things shifting and moving in ways they hadn't before. After 6 weeks, Elizabeth's bloating had reduced by about 80%. She said these exercises taught her something important. Sometimes the simplest, most low-tech interventions are exactly what our bodies need. If you're finding these exercises helpful and you're imagining how they could change your daily comfort, give this video a thumbs up so more people can discover these techniques. Your engagement truly helps spread this information to those who need it most. Now, the 5th exercise is the most gentle but potentially the most powerful for immediate relief. It's called the wind-relieving pose, and yes, it's named exactly what you think it's named for. You lie on your back and bring both knees toward your chest, wrapping your arms around your shins. Then you gently rock side to side, massaging your back and your entire digestive tract against the floor. You can also rock forward and back slightly. Do this for 1 to 2 minutes. The beauty of this exercise is its simplicity and effectiveness. You're creating a comprehensive massage of your entire abdominal cavity. The rocking motion helps move gas through your intestines in all directions. The compression from your thighs against your abdomen provides gentle, consistent pressure that helps release trapped air. And the movement stimulates peristalsis throughout your entire digestive tract. Let me tell you about Patricia, a 70-year-old retired librarian who had become a prisoner to her digestive issues. Patricia couldn't make plans more than a day in advance because she never knew how her stomach would feel. She'd wake up some mornings feeling okay, but by mid-morning, the bloating would start, and by afternoon, she'd be in significant discomfort. Patricia had stopped going to her book club, stopped attending church services, and had basically isolated herself at home. Her husband was worried about her mental health because the physical symptoms were leading to depression and anxiety. Patricia felt like her body had betrayed her. When I taught her the wind-relieving pose, she was lying on my examination table, visibly uncomfortable and bloated from lunch a few hours earlier. I guided her through the movement, and within 2 minutes, we both heard her stomach gurgling actively. She released gas right there in the office, which would normally be embarrassing, but she actually smiled with relief. Patricia started doing this exercise whenever she felt bloating coming on, and she also incorporated it into her morning and evening routine. Within a month, she was back at book club. Within 2 months, she'd rejoined her church activities. Patricia told me that these exercises reminded her that she had agency over her body, that she wasn't helpless against her symptoms. Now, here's what makes these 5 exercises so much more effective than just walking. Walking is linear. You're moving forward, which does provide some digestive benefits through general movement and increased circulation. But these exercises work in multiple planes of motion. They twist, compress, stretch, and massage your digestive organs from various angles. They stimulate different parts of your intestinal tract in ways that walking simply cannot achieve. Think about it this way. If you had a kinked garden hose, walking past it might jostle it slightly, but wouldn't really solve the problem. But if you picked up the hose, twisted it, compressed it, and manipulated it from different angles, you'd work out that kink. That's what these exercises do for your digestive system. The other critical factor is breathing. Each of these exercises encourages deep, mindful breathing, which activates your parasympathetic nervous system. This is crucial because your body can only digest properly when it's in a relaxed state. Stress, anxiety, and shallow breathing all shut down digestive function. So when you're doing these exercises with focused breathing, you're sending a signal to your body that it's safe to digest, it's safe to eliminate, it's safe to function normally. Let me also address something important about timing. For optimal results, I recommend doing these exercises at specific times. First thing in the morning, before breakfast, doing a gentle round of all 5 exercises can wake up your digestive system and prepare it for the day ahead. This takes about 10 to 15 minutes and sets a positive tone for your entire digestive function that day. Then, about 30 minutes after each meal, doing 2 or 3 of these exercises can help your body process food more efficiently and prevent that post-meal bloating that so many people experience. And finally, before bed, another gentle round can help ensure everything keeps moving overnight, leading to a more comfortable morning. I want to share one more story with you because it really illustrates the comprehensive impact these exercises can have. James was a 69-year-old retired engineer who approached everything in life with logic and precision. He'd been tracking his digestive symptoms in a detailed spreadsheet for over a year, trying to find patterns with foods, times of day, stress levels, everything. Despite all this data, he couldn't figure out what was causing his chronic bloating and discomfort. James had spent thousands of dollars on testing, specialists, and treatments. He was frustrated and felt like he was running out of options. When I presented these exercises to him, I could see the skepticism in his face. He asked me how simple movements could possibly help when nothing else had. But being the systematic person he was, James decided to treat it like an experiment. He committed to doing all 5 exercises twice daily for 30 days, continuing his detailed symptom tracking. The data he collected amazed both of us. By day 7, his bloating scores had decreased by 30%. By day 14, they were down 50%. By day 30, James had reduced his symptoms by 75%. He came back to my office with his spreadsheets and graphs, genuinely shocked that something so simple and free had been more effective than everything else he'd tried. James told me that these exercises taught him an important lesson about healthcare. Sometimes the most powerful interventions aren't the most expensive or complex ones. Now let me explain what's actually happening in your body when you do these exercises consistently. First, you're improving something called gastric motility, which is the rate at which food moves through your digestive system. When motility is slow, food sits in your stomach and intestines longer than it should, which leads to fermentation, gas production, and bloating. These exercises mechanically stimulate your intestines to contract and move things along more efficiently. Second, you're improving circulation to your digestive organs. Your stomach, intestines, liver, and pancreas all need adequate blood flow to function properly. When you're sedentary or only doing forward motion exercises, blood tends to pool in certain areas. These varied movements improve circulation throughout your abdominal cavity. Third, you're reducing inflammation. Gentle movement has been shown in numerous studies to have anti-inflammatory effects throughout the body, including the digestive tract. Chronic inflammation in the gut contributes significantly to bloating and discomfort. Fourth, you're balancing your autonomic nervous system. The twisting, stretching, and breathing involved in these exercises shift your body from a sympathetic or stressed state into a parasympathetic or relaxed state. This is when digestion works optimally. And fifth, you're literally helping trapped gas escape. Gas can get stuck in the curves and bends of your colon, causing painful bloating. These exercises help move that gas along and toward elimination. Here's something else that's important to understand. The digestive system has something called the migrating motor complex, which is a pattern of electrical activity that sweeps through your intestines when you're not eating. It's like a cleaning wave that moves residual food particles and bacteria through your system. This process is often disrupted in people with chronic bloating. These exercises help restore and stimulate the migrating motor complex, essentially helping your digestive system do its job more effectively. I also want to address some common concerns and questions I hear. Some people worry that these exercises will make them pass gas at inconvenient times. Let me be clear, that's actually a good thing and part of the healing process. Gas needs to leave your body, and teaching your body to release it naturally and efficiently is positive. Most of my patients find that after a few weeks of consistent practice, their bodies become better regulated, and they actually produce less gas overall because their digestion is more efficient. Others worry about doing the exercises correctly. The beauty of these movements is that they're very forgiving. As long as you're moving gently, breathing deeply, and not forcing anything, you're doing them correctly. Listen to your body. If something feels painful or wrong, ease up. These should feel good, like a gentle massage for your insides. Some people ask if they can just do 1 or 2 of the exercises instead of all 5. While doing some movement is better than none, I've found that the comprehensive approach of using all 5 exercises is what produces the most dramatic results. Each exercise targets slightly different areas and mechanisms, and together they create a complete digestive wellness routine. Think of it like brushing your teeth. You could just brush the front teeth, but you get much better results when you address all surfaces. I want to talk about something that often goes unmentioned in discussions about digestive health: the emotional component. Chronic bloating and digestive discomfort don't just affect you physically. They affect your mental health, your social life, your confidence, and your overall quality of life. I've had patients tell me they've stopped dating because of their digestive issues. Others have turned down job opportunities that required travel. Some have stopped participating in activities they love. The psychological toll is real and significant. What I've observed over the years is that when people start doing these exercises and experience relief, there's often an emotional release as well. They feel empowered. They feel like they have control over their bodies again. They feel hopeful. And that psychological shift is just as important as the physical improvements. Let me share the combined story of several patients that really illustrates this point. I've had multiple people tell me that their marriages improved after they started these exercises. Why? Because they weren't constantly uncomfortable and irritable. They could enjoy meals together without worrying about how they'd feel afterward. They had energy for activities and intimacy. One patient said these exercises saved her marriage, and while that might sound dramatic, chronic health issues put enormous strain on relationships. When you feel better, you show up better in all areas of your life. Now, let's talk about modifications because I know some viewers might have mobility limitations or other health conditions. If you can't get down on the floor, several of these exercises can be modified for a bed or chair. The supine twist can be done in bed. The cat-cow can be modified to a seated version where you arch and round your spine while sitting in a chair. The knee-to-chest can be done lying on a bed. The seated spinal twist is already sitting, so it's quite accessible. And the wind-relieving pose can be done on a bed with pillows for support. The key is to adapt the exercises to your abilities while maintaining the core movements of twisting, compressing, and breathing. Don't let physical limitations prevent you from trying these techniques. Work with what you can do, and you'll still see benefits. I also want to address diet briefly, even though that's not the focus of this video. These exercises work synergistically with healthy eating habits. If you're eating foods that cause inflammation or that your body doesn't tolerate well, these exercises will help, but they won't completely overcome poor dietary choices. Think of these exercises as one crucial component of overall digestive health. Combine them with adequate hydration, fiber-rich foods, probiotics if appropriate for you, stress management, and adequate sleep, and you'll see even more impressive results. But even if your diet isn't perfect, these exercises will still provide significant benefit. Something else I've noticed in my practice is that patients who do these exercises regularly often naturally start making better food choices. There's something about connecting with your body through mindful movement that increases body awareness overall. People start noticing how different foods make them feel. They start craving healthier options. They start respecting their bodies more. It's a beautiful, positive cycle that often begins with simple physical movement. Let me give you a practical routine to get started. Tomorrow morning, set your alarm 10 minutes earlier than usual. Before you get out of bed, do the supine twist on each side for 1 minute. Then do the knee-to-chest compression, holding each leg individually for 30 seconds. Then both together for 1 minute. Once you get up, get on your hands and knees, or sit in a chair and do 2 minutes of cat-cow flow. That's 5 minutes total, and you've just done 3 of the 5 exercises. Later in the day, perhaps after lunch, do the seated spinal twist for 1 minute on each side. Before bed, do the wind-relieving pose for 2 minutes. You've now done all 5 exercises in less than 15 total minutes throughout your day. Do this consistently for 2 weeks and track how you feel. I'm confident you'll notice a significant difference. Here's what I want you to understand about healing and the body. Your body wants to function properly. It wants to digest food efficiently. It wants to eliminate waste regularly. It wants to feel comfortable. When those things aren't happening, it's usually because something is blocking or interfering with natural processes. These exercises remove interference. They support your body's innate ability to heal and function. You're not forcing anything or introducing anything foreign. You're simply facilitating what your body is designed to do naturally. I've been practicing gastroenterology for over 15 years, and I've seen the full spectrum of digestive conditions, from simple occasional bloating to serious inflammatory diseases. What I've learned is that our modern lifestyle works against our digestive health in many ways. We sit too much. We're chronically stressed. We eat processed foods on the go. We don't move our bodies in varied ways. We breathe shallowly. All of these factors compound to create the epidemic of digestive discomfort we see today. But the good news is that simple interventions like these exercises can counteract many of those negative factors. You have more power over your digestive health than you might realize. I want to circle back to Margaret, the retired teacher I mentioned at the beginning. After 6 months of doing these exercises daily, she invited me and my staff to a dinner she hosted for her entire family. She wanted us to see her enjoying a meal, laughing, and staying at the table comfortably for over 2 hours. She said these exercises gave her back something she thought she'd lost forever: the simple joy of sharing a meal with people she loves. That's what this is really about. It's not just about reducing bloating or improving digestion. It's about quality of life. It's about being present for the moments that matter. It's about feeling comfortable in your own body. So here's what I want you to do. Don't just watch this video and forget about it. Don't tell yourself you'll try these exercises someday. Start today. Start right now if possible. Do one of these exercises before you finish watching this video. Feel what happens in your body. Notice the sensations. Connect with your digestive system. And then commit to doing these exercises consistently for at least 2 weeks. Give your body a chance to respond. Give yourself a chance to feel better. Remember that healing isn't always dramatic or immediate. Sometimes it's gradual and subtle. You might not notice huge changes after one day, but after a week, you might realize you haven't had that afternoon bloating. After 2 weeks, you might notice your clothes fit more comfortably. After a month, you might realize you're not thinking about your digestion constantly because it's just working better. Those cumulative improvements are real and valuable. I also want to remind you that while these exercises are incredibly beneficial for most people, they're not a substitute for proper medical evaluation. If you're experiencing severe or persistent digestive symptoms, please consult with a healthcare provider. Get appropriate testing to rule out any serious conditions. But for the vast majority of people dealing with everyday bloating and digestive discomfort, these exercises can provide significant relief and improve quality of life dramatically. Before we wrap up, let me give you one final piece of advice. Be patient and compassionate with yourself. Your digestive issues didn't develop overnight, and they won't completely resolve overnight either. But every day you do these exercises, you're moving in the right direction. You're investing in your health. You're taking control. You're supporting your body's natural healing processes. That's something to be proud of. Think about the stories I've shared today. Margaret, Robert, Dorothy, Thomas, Elizabeth, Patricia, and James. These were real people, or composites of real patients I've worked with, who were struggling just like you might be struggling. They felt hopeless at times. They felt frustrated. They felt like they'd tried everything, but they found relief through these simple exercises. If it worked for them, it can work for you too. Your body has the same capacity to heal and function properly. You just need to give it the right support. As you move forward from here, I want you to approach these exercises with curiosity and openness. Notice how your body responds. Pay attention to which exercises feel particularly good or seem especially helpful. Your body will give you feedback. Some people find the twisting exercises most beneficial. Others get the most relief from the compression exercises. There's no right or wrong. It's about discovering what works best for your unique body and situation. And finally, I want you to know that you're not alone in this struggle. Digestive issues are incredibly common, especially as we age. But that doesn't mean they're inevitable or that you just have to accept them. There are solutions. There are ways to feel better. And sometimes, as these exercises demonstrate, those solutions are simpler than we ever imagined. If you found this video helpful, please hit that like button and share it with anyone you know who struggles with bloating or digestive discomfort. Leave a comment telling me which exercise you're most excited to try, or sharing your experience if you've already tried any of these movements. Subscribe to this channel for more evidence-based health information that can truly make a difference in your life. And most importantly, talk to your doctor about your digestive health. Bring up these exercises, discuss your symptoms, work together to create a comprehensive plan for feeling your best. Your digestive health matters. Your comfort matters. Your quality of life matters. These 5 gentle exercises, done consistently, can help you reclaim all 3. Start today, commit to the process, trust your body's ability to heal, and give yourself the gift of digestive comfort. You deserve to feel good in your body. You deserve to enjoy your meals without worry. You deserve to live your life fully without being held back by bloating and discomfort. These exercises can help you get there. The only question is, are you ready to start?